Io, it's been a little over 2 months since that P. Diddy verdict. Out of 5 counts, he beat the biggest ones. No racketeering, no sex trafficking. But the jury still hit him with 2 lesser charges under the Mann Act, and that's 10 years max each. So yeah, he dodged the heavy ones, but he's still stuck in limbo waiting for sentencing in October. Soon as the decision dropped, reactions went crazy. Folks ain't expect him to slide past the harshest charges, and of course, 50 Cent wasted no time trolling, posting Diddy beat the feds. Boy, a bad man beat the Rico, he the gay John Gotti. You know Fifth gone clown. But not everybody was laughing. Cassie ain't speak, but her lawyer did, saying she paved the way for this conviction and she gon' keep fighting for survivors. Her testimony was heavy, probably the most impactful part of the trial. Dawn Richard from Danity Kane backed her too. She told the jury she seen Diddy punch, choke, slap Cassie, even kicked her in the stomach one time and hit her in the head with a skillet full of eggs. Crazy. Meanwhile, Diddy's camp was scrambling. Soon as the verdict hit, they moved like he might get bail. Star Island Mansion in Miami had security beefed up, paparazzi swarming, private jet on standby in New York, ready to fly him back to Florida. They was betting he'd walk right out, but that ain't happened. Then you had Boozy jumping on IG saying if Diddy was white, he'd have way more support. The system wouldn't drag him like this. And low-key, that's what a lot of folks been saying, that Diddy was set up. Now, truth be told, I think he pissed off some powerful people, black and white. Cause look, man been moving solo from the jump. If he really had good ties, his peers would have spoke up for him. But they didn't. Only Kanye said something, and that felt like publicity more than support. So yeah, Boosie right that the public don't got Diddy's back, but I think that's more about the rep he built than some system setup. His image carried too much baggage, and people don't want to risk standing next to that. After the verdict, his lawyers pushed hard for release. He already did 9 months inside. They said he ain't no flight risk. He been a model inmate, always showing up to court. They promised if he got out with conditions, he wouldn't be linking with escorts or getting in trouble again. But Cassie and her lawyer fired back, writing letters to the court saying he's still dangerous to the victims, including Cassie herself. Another witness backed that up. Judge ain't buy it. His team offered $1 million bail, said he wasn't a risk, said he was defending himself in one incident, even had his kids in court. But the judge pointed straight at the Cassie video and the Jane Doe testimony, said, nah, pattern of violence, no respect for
Tired
law.
of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man.
Io, check this out. It's been a little over 2 months since the verdict in that P. Diddy case. Out of the 5 counts he was facing, Diddy slid off the biggest ones. No racketeering, no sex trafficking. But the jury still hit him with 2 lesser charges under the Mann Act, each carrying up to 10 years. So he beat the worst of it, but he's still sitting in limbo, waiting on that sentencing coming up in October. Ever since then, folks been like, what's really going on? Cause Diddy not free. He ain't out here. He's stuck in that middle ground. Soon as the decision dropped, reactions was flying everywhere. Most people ain't even expect him to dodge the heavy charges. But you know who jumped out first? 50 Cent. That man wasted no time trolling, posted like Diddy beat the feds, boy a bad man, beat the Rico, he the gay John Gotti, you already know Fifth gone clown. But not everybody was trolling. Cassie, the key witness, ain't say nothing herself, but her lawyer dropped a statement for her. He said Cassie paved the way for them convictions, and she gon' keep fighting for survivors even after the verdict. Her testimony was heavy, one of the biggest parts of the trial, and she treating this like just the beginning. And she ain't stand alone. Dawn Richard, yeah, from Danity Kane back in the mid-2000s when Diddy had them signed, she testified too. Told the jury straight up she seen Diddy attack Cassie with her own eyes, punching, choking, slapping. She even recalled one wild moment where he kicked Cassie in the stomach. Another time she said he hit her in the head with a skillet full of eggs. Crazy. After the verdict, Dawn showed support again, reminding folks this ain't about just one woman speaking. Multiple women stepped up with what they lived and saw. Meanwhile, while the world was reacting, Diddy's camp was scrambling behind the scenes. Word is, right after the verdict, they was moving like he might get bail. Security at that Star Island mansion in Miami was beefed up heavy. Guards at the gate, guards on the property, paparazzi everywhere. They even had a private jet sitting in New York ready to scoop him and his fam, fly him straight back to Florida if the judge signed off. Of course, that bail ain't never happened, but it showed you how confident his team was he might walk right after. And then you got other voices speaking up. Boozy Badazz jumped on IG, said he happy Diddy ain't get slapped with the biggest charges, but he also made it clear he feel race played a major role in how this whole thing went down. Then it got messier. A dude named Clayton Howard testified as Dave. now suing both Diddy and Cassie. Claims he was manipulated and traumatized and that Cassie had a bigger role in all this than people want to admit. A lot of folks been whispering the same since day one. By mid-July, reports say Diddy enrolled in prison programs, rehab, domestic violence, sexual assault awareness, drug abuse. His team spinning it like redemption. But let's be real, defendants do that before sentencing, hoping for mercy. Then out of nowhere, he hop on Twitter, drop the eye emoji. You know, the one you send to your lil eater at 2 a.m. hoping she slide. Tweet got deleted quick. Nobody know what that was about. End of July, his lawyers tried again with a $50 million bond package tied to his Miami estate. Conditions like limited travel, house arrest, ankle monitor, the works. They argued most Mann Act cases get bail before sentencing anyway. For context, Mann Act been around since 1910, criminalizing moving women across state lines for prostitution. His lawyer downplayed it, saying Diddy just hired escorts, part of a wild lifestyle with Cassie and Jane Doe. So look, they tried to paint Diddy like he been non-violent since 2018, only one little incident with a woman. But prosecutors ain't buying that story, and the judge still ain't budged. Then out of nowhere, guess who name pop up in the chat? Donald Trump. Reports came out saying the president was considering a pardon for Diddy. Word is Diddy's legal team even reached out to Trump asking for help. But here's the plot twist. When Trump got asked about it, he said it ain't that simple. He admitted he think Diddy half innocent, but he ain't forget the things Diddy said about him. Back in 2017, Diddy said he ain't give a fuck about Trump. Then in 2020, he doubled down on the radio with Charlamagne Tha God, saying straight up, white men like Trump need to be banished. He said if Trump got elected, folks ain't gonna sit back no more while getting killed. He warned we on the verge of a race war. So now Trump basically admit his personal feelings cloud his judgment, and that's playing a role in whether he'd even consider pardoning Diddy.
Like Trump need to be banished. If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war.
He was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up.
Man, by August, that little hope Diddy had left, gone. Judge denied his bail second time on August 4th, slammed the door on any chance of him walking out before sentencing. But even with all this heat, Diddy's lawyers was talking future moves. They saying he focused on family, taking care of his moms, but also planning that big comeback show at Madison Square Garden. Crazy, right? From a cell to the garden. Late August, his team even tried to flip them 2 convictions, pushing for a new trial. Their argument, Diddy wasn't running no business off it, wasn't making bread, just a voyeur, somebody watching and filming on some freak show vibe. They even tried comparing him to a park producer. Prosecutors clapped back quick, called that motion nonsense, said nah, this was exploitation straight up. No Hollywood set, no cameras rolling half the time. Women ain't even know they was being filmed. So right now, Diddy's sitting behind bars waiting on that October 3rd sentencing. He facing up to 20 years, but the word is prosecutors expect like 4 to 5 since he already served some time. Real talk, he probably do 2, maybe 3 more years tops. For the spot he in, that's kinda a W. I bet even Diddy ain't think it would play out like this. So now it's on y'all. What y'all think about these updates? Drop a like, hit that sub button, comment for the algorithm. We gonna tap back in October when the sentence drop. Peace, I'm out.